Hi guys, welcome to the second tutorial of the SignalR video series. So in this one I would like to demonstrate how you can send notification to each individual connected clients to the SignalR server, the SignalR hub. So in the previous tutorial I described and I explained how to use the SignalR and what is a SignalR, and then I built the sample solution with you guys by explaining all the necessary steps in order to make the SignalR connection and how you can make the SignalR hub, and also what are the client-side SignalR libraries and how you can make the initial connection to the SignalR server. And also I described how you can send the notifications to all the connected SignalR clients like a broadcast signal. So in this one, I would like to demonstrate how you can send notification to the individual clients. So without further ado, let's start. So the first step I would like to explain here is we're going to use the same SignalR hub that we built in the first tutorial. And so this is the broadcast message. So we are sending the signal to all the connected clients. And this one, I already wrote the function here. So I'll explain what it is doing. So in this one, I'm going to create another task called notify me, which has one argument called my client ID. So this is the client ID who has connected to our SignalR hub. So that is why we need to get the connected client ID. So then SignalR can send the notification only to that specific client ID. And this is the server-side function we are calling, and we are passing this data to the server-side function. This is the client-side function, and we are passing this data to the client-side function. So, and also in order to get the connected client ID, we need to override one of the server-side SignalR method, which is this one, onConnected async. So this method get fired when the connection initialized using the client and the server. So in here, if as you can see, we get the connected client ID from the context, and I'm sending it to the user connected client side function, and I'm passing the connected client ID. So the purpose of this function is to get the connected client ID, send it to the client side, and then when the client triggers something, then we capture that connected client ID and we send the notification to that specific client using that client ID. So that is the purpose of this function, and this is the purpose of this function to make the override the connection and get the client ID. So that is those two. And I'll go to the client side, and also I have wrote these two functions. So I'll explain what they are. So this function is the one that get executed on the server side, on the client side. So what is happening is when the connection is initialized, the server trigger this function and passing the connected client ID. So if you can see this name here, user connected, if I go to the hub, it's actually calling the user connected client side function and passing the connected ID. And that is what you are seeing here is, so this function get hooked and we are getting the ID here, and I'm using this global variable here. My client that actually I need to have this here. So let's do this one here. Keep this connected client ID in order to send it to the server side, which is we are using this function here. So what is happening is this one is we have another button called me button, or we can maybe call it as client button. Actually, we have a client button which is the which we use to the broadcast. So I'll keep maybe myself What is happening is when you click this button, we are invoking the server-side notify me function, and we are sending the connected client ID, which is the one that we got from the server, and we are using that, and we are invoking this function, which is in here, and we are passing the client ID here. So that is what we are doing here. And then when you invoke this function here, we are calling client-side function and passing the data, so which is here. Then we are calling this, and we are showing the message and the text. Show the message, and this is the text. So I think I need to update this on our index here. So I'll duplicate this button. So we have another button called myself button. Sorry, like this. So send notification to myself. So that's this button. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's run and see how we can demonstrate this. Then I'll explain you step by step how it's working. So as you can see here, so we have two buttons: launch all clients, send notification to myself. So if I click this, as you can see, I just got a notification. So notify me only. So in order to demonstrate this further, I will use two different browsers as always. So I'll keep this on here and I'll keep this on here. So this is basically Firefox and this is Chrome. So what should happen is if you press the Chrome notify myself, only the Chrome client should get the notification. And also if you click the Firefox notify myself, the Firefox client should get the notification, as you can see here. And also I'll quickly demonstrate our previous one. If I click launch all clients, as you can see, both clients are getting the broadcast signal. So, and since I got some time left on this video, I would have to demonstrate some debug points. So then we know how this is working. So I'll put a debug point here, and I'll show you what is happening when someone get connected. So as you can see, when the page load happen here, the server-side function get triggered, and if you see here, this is the connected client ID. So, and then we are calling this function and passing the client ID. So that is happening there. And also if I put a debug point here, notify me, and if I press notify myself, see this is getting this function is getting triggered, and you're getting that connected client ID here. And we are sending notify me only. So if I run this, you will see the notification notify me only here. So that is what's happening behind the scene of the SignalR. Also, I can show you some more data here. I think I did this on my previous tutorial as well. So if I press F5, I'll turn off this too. As you can see here, SignalR, the WebSocket created, and you can see here the server is actually the client and the server is keep the connection live here, and that is what's happening here. So also you can see the headers. So what happened is actually, so 101 is a switching protocol. So what is happening is when the connection initialized, the client and server is actually switching the protocols to use WSS. It's a WebSocket layer protocol, and it's not actually no longer HTTP. It's on WSS. So that is what's the definition of here. And yeah, I think that's it for this tutorial. So for the next tutorial, I would like to um, add some notification. Yeah, actually, since I got some time, I would do on this tutorial as well. So what we can do here, we can actually use this notification hub, our class, and SignalR actually has this iHub context interface, which you can actually use your custom hub on any other places else on this notification hub. So you can create that here, and then you can use this to send notifications. So what we can do here is you can call this hub. So first of all, you need to use the constructor of this controller, and you need to initialize this context. So the beauty of SignalR is it's actually automatically injecting the dependency injections. So you don't have to think about anything. You just need to pass necessary base classes. And then what you can do here, you can create another index, or actually you can create the same index, and you can call clients, I think, yes, and send. I think we can use the same signal that we use here. We can use this. So I'll come here. Simple as that. So what this is doing is this. In this case, we can simply call the index controller, and it should actually send a broadcast signal to all the connected clients. So I'll quickly demonstrate that. So let's run this. So here we just we have one client, and I'll use this as the second client. See, now what is happening is as soon as I go to my home page, I'm sending a signal to the all the connected clients. So I guess the better way to do this is create another action, so then you won't get confused. So let me quickly change this to maybe privacy. So here, not here, I'll use in this one. So I'll copy this name, so I can just quickly show you this one to you guys. So we have, this is our first client connecting now. Yep, connected. And I'm going to the second client. Maybe I'll create another client, and then I'll go to the privacy. So, sorry, it's home. Now see what's happening is when you go to the privacy, both clients get the broadcast signal. So this is how the signal broadcast working, and then this is how actually we can trigger the signal push notifications from the controller. You can use this in the API controller as well. So this is the MVC controller. Maybe in the next video, I would add an API controller, and I would add some more definitions to on this one, and I'm planning to use distributed caching. So this is the end of the second tutorial, guys. Please stay in tune, and please subscribe, and thank you, and have a good one.